Let's start. Q Start, 2021, 2. Page 9 number 1. He played with that child, the whole day long, and they were very merry. The sky was so blue, the sun was so bright, the water was so sparkling, the leaves were so green, and the flowers were so lovely. Everything was beautiful. This was in fine weather. When it rained, they loved to watch the falling drops and to smell the fresh scents. When it blew, it was delightful to listen to the wind. But, when it snowed, that was best of all because they liked to look up at the white flakes falling fast and thick, like down from the breasts of millions of white birds, to see how smooth and deep the drift was, and to listen to the hush upon the paths and roads. The end. Good job. Now, let's start. Q Start, 2021, 3. Page 9 number 2. We've all heard time and again that we should eat more fruits and vegetables. The difference between that statement in the past versus today is that we now have exciting, delicious, and innovative ways to prepare fruits and vegetables, as evidenced by the skyrocketing popularity of raw food, which has emerged as a completely new cuisine all its own. Eating raw no longer refers to fruit plates and a few boring sticks of carrot or celery. Among thousands of chefs, healthful eating advocates, foodies, and ordinary people from all walks of life, raw food now refers to an exciting, energetic way of eating and living that is not only far more healthy than anything that's come before, but is also amazingly delicious and satisfying. Page 10 number 3. Many proverbs contain germs of truth, and some are indeed profound, but they aren't reliable sources of knowledge and can be misleading. For example, take the saying "you can't teach an old dog new tricks." This isn't true of all dogs, and certainly isn't true of all human beings. There are many older people who are capable of making radical leaps in their ability. This is not to deny the effects of aging. The point is that what is roughly true, that as we get older it becomes harder to learn new behavior, is not true for everyone in every respect. At most the saying captures the idea that it may be difficult to change the ways of an older person. However, the saying implies that you can never teach any older person anything new, which is a hasty generalization and one which is fairly obviously false. Page 10 number 4. If you feel you are too short or too tall, there is nothing you can do about that. You might as well learn to look at the advantages of being short or tall. I saw Michael J. Fox interviewed on television early in his career. Michael J. Fox. The interviewer asked Michael about how he felt about being so short, just 5 feet 4 inches. Michael 5'4". Michael became animated and shared how he has always seen his size as an advantage. Michael. Most of us know someone with a Napoleonic complex or feelings of inadequacy directly related to being short. Those people usually try to compensate by driving big cars, having big desks or acting just plain nasty. Instead, Michael J. Fox was proud of his height and shared how much he enjoys being smaller. Michael J. Fox. He said when he was younger and his family got locked out of the house, he was the one who could squeeze through the basement window to let everyone in. He has embraced a characteristic over which he has no control. Page 11 number 5. We all know from experience that some of our dreams seem to be related to daily problems, some are vague and incoherent, and some are anxiety dreams that occur when we are worried or depressed. But whatever the source of the images in our sleeping brains may be, we need to be cautious about interpreting our own dreams or anyone else's. A recent study of people showed that individuals are biased and selfing in their dream interpretations, accepting those that fit in with their pre-existing beliefs or needs and rejecting those that do not. For example, they will give more weight to a dream in which God commands them to take a year off to travel the world than one in which God commands them to take a year off to work in a relief camp. 1. Our biased interpretations may tell us more about ourselves than do our actual dreams. Page 11 number 6. As much as possible, punishment should be immediate rather than delayed. Unfortunately, in the real world, delayed punishment is often the rule rather than the exception. A child's misbehavior is frequently discovered only several minutes or hours after its occurrence, and the delivery of a reprimand following such a long delay may have little effect. This is particularly the case with very young children and animals who, because they are unable to understand explanations, are unlikely to associate the punishment with the unwanted behavior. For example, yelling at a dog for making a mess on the carpet several hours after the incident has occurred will probably only upset the animal and do little to prevent future mishaps. Page 12, number 7. Lee Ross and his students published a dramatic set of studies demonstrating what they named the false consensus effect. Lee Ross. College students were asked if they would be willing to perform various outrageous acts on campus, e.g., walking around for 30 minutes wearing a large sandwich board, and then were asked what proportion of the rest of the student body would be willing to perform that act. 3-0. Those who agreed to wear the sign thought 63% of their peers would comply, those who refused thought 23% would comply. 63%, 23%. There are now more than 100 studies demonstrating similar effects on predictions of peers' knowledge, attitudes, and actions. 100. For example, there is a definite tendency to believe that a larger percentage of the voters prefer your favored candidate than actually favor that candidate. The habit even includes beliefs about the candidates themselves, with voters thinking that their favored candidates are more like them than they actually are.